and it's called entertainment's biggest award. The annual Oscar Awards have just wrapped up their landmark 90th year at the iconic Dolby Theatre in Los Angeles with the fantasy romance film The Shape of Water nodding for the night's biggest honor of the Best Picture. And it was surprisingly read out from the correct envelope. Director Guillermo Del Toro nodded as the best director for the same film. The Best Actor honour was lifted by Gary Oldman for his portrayal of Winston Churchill in The Darkest Hour. Best Actress winner Frances McDormand lifted her award with a rousing speech celebrating all the female nominees of the night. And now I'm joined in live by Mary McCarthy, our correspondent, joining us live from Los Angeles. Let me quickly go across to Mary. Mary, we've just heard the winners and we heard Frances McDormand's phenomenal speech calling out to all the women and especially her female nominees. You know, she just shattered all the competition by that one move, which was so emblematic. She called for an inclusion rider. You know, that is a very historic speech, so to say. Your take on that?
Absolutely, but we should say it's no surprise really from Frances McDormand. It's her second Oscar win. Her first one was 21 years ago for Fargo. She's always played these strong women, and we've known her really as more or less a feminist. So for her to call on the women to stand up and feel awarded, even those who didn't win, was something that's very typical of her. And I would say that despite Frances's speech, it was a bit disappointing as the ceremony progressed, and to see that we didn't have some of the more notable moments that we were expecting for women. We know that Greta Gerwig was just the 5th woman ever nominated for Best Director. She did not win that. In fact, her film, a very female-dominated film, Lady Bird, a coming-of-age story about a young woman, didn't take home any top prizes at all. We also know that Rachel Morrison, who was up for Best Cinematographer, did not get that award. Even you could sense this feeling of this is going to happen. A woman is finally going to win Best Cinematography. And it was a white male, the cinematographer for Blade Runner, a brilliant film. But you got the sense that Hollywood was behind Rachel Morrison. Sadly, the Academy wasn't.
So are you saying that the awards weren't really well deserved?
No, not all of the awards certainly were well deserved. When you have awards like this, whether it's for Blade Runner, which I was saying there, or any of the others, you're talking about a caliber of acting, production, cinematography, that they're all exceptional. But there certainly was the feeling that there would be more female winners. There would be more winners who are members of minority. And instead we got something like Gary Oldman, for example, who is facing allegations of abuse, long-standing allegations of abuse, sexual abuse of some of his exes, who won Best Actor. So on the one hand, you have all these expressions on the red carpet before and after saying, time's up, Me Too, this is the time for women to embrace and empower themselves, embrace equality in Hollywood. And then you have someone like Gary Oldman winning, and on social media and certainly among the critics, there's a lot of talk now saying, why did that happen, especially this year?
Right. Mary, also, I would actually like to speak about Frances McDormand's speech at length. She ended her speech with the 2 words, inclusion rider. And I would actually now toss over to Sejal, who will speak about inclusion rider and what that meant. And maybe you could also, you know, participate in and elaborate on Frances. It was a speech, you know, coming of age, because here we are looking at the 90th Academy Awards, which are a landmark in themselves. They have been inclusive towards women, because if we look at Rachel Morrison's nomination, that in itself was a first of its kind.